Clip of the day.
Hey, I got a lot of emails and tweets and all kinds of stuff about naming our illness that we are discussing.
I got to the point where there's so many, I stopped paying attention.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But I did want to mention a few, and then I want to talk about some research I've done. So this, of course, is the international health crisis, the triad, as we call it, which is really exemplified in this little clip that I found. There was a solar flare, an X, I think 1.6. That
should have produced a borealis on the.
It might have.
Areas.
I haven't seen any pictures. It probably did. But
Mimi was up there at the time, and she said she didn't see anything.
Right. So this was obviously underreported. Then it was overreported. And we all need to be very afraid of an EMP or any type of CME, coronal mass ejection, because it could disrupt things here on Earth.
Yeah. And
this is a very disturbing piece, as there's only one thing that the reporter is clearly interested in, and the men on the street interviews refer to this one issue. What could the worst thing be if we had a true electromagnetic pulse that knocked things off?
Can I take a couple of guesses?
Just one.
Oh, okay. It would knock out the power grid, and we wouldn't be able to get to Facebook.
It pours out material which will reach us in a day or two. And that material, electrically charged, can disrupt satellites and power grids if it strikes the Earth in a way that hits areas that are vulnerable.
Krupp says the concern is for airline communications, GPS, cell phones. You might even see a disruption to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
What? Facebook's offline!
When your Instagram and your Facebook account go out, find something to keep you occupied for a little while till it all comes back.
You nailed it, John. And now the whole piece.
Pathetic, by the way.
Yeah, the whole piece. Yes, listen, the whole piece.
Not my Facebook.
Not my Facebook.
Reaction from those just learning about this?
Wow. I'm waiting to see that, actually.
Then believe me, they're not talking about anything other than Facebook being offline because of this.
Only temporary, and we used to live without cell phones.
How long does it last?
Well, the material that is traveling from the sun is essentially like a wave that washes over us. So you're talking about a portion of a day or a few hours.
I guess we'll get through it. It's only a few hours.
And that's the right attitude. Here's the good news. It doesn't appear to be a direct hit, just a glancing blow. And remember, if it happens at all, they're saying it'll just be for a couple of hours. So we can deal with that, and scientists say we're going to be just fine.
Oh, wow. Only a few hours without Facebook.
Clip of the day.
Only a few hours without Facebook. I think we'll be able to handle it. Yes, we can do it.
Clip of the day.
That's right. Facebook.
Disgusting.
So this combination of, and it really is more Facebook than Twitter, but because of the like factor, although I see people using the favorite tweet as a like mechanism. Yeah, I know. And the smartphones with cameras is the international health crisis. I'll give you a couple examples: group perception disorder, technology enslavement disorder, social network obsession syndrome, compulsive conformance disorder, influenza, a lot of things that but none of them really hit home with what this is. And I've been doing some research. And again, no one is really approaching it the way we are, but there's been a lot of research into technology in general. As you know, I keep rereading Ted Kaczynski's Technology in the Modern Age, his manifesto, which really combines leftist thinking with destruction once you add technology to it. Did you know that on the front page of the Unabomber manifesto, he says, giving humans technology is like putting an alcoholic in a barrel of wine. I never knew that was like the thing, like his little sticker on the front of his manifesto. So here's a couple things I learned. Steve Jobs, and this came out just in the New York Times 2 days ago with, I forgot who, someone said some late term interview with him. He really limited his kids' use of technology. He said he was a self-confessed low-tech parent. And when the iPad came out, he didn't even let his kids have it. And I think it's because he, along with other technology leaders, really knew about this thing that we have inside of us. And there's a clip from Louis C.K., which it's too long. You have to watch it. He's on Conan, and there's a whole setup. It doesn't work on audio. You have to see him do it. And I liked he had a theory about what this incessant behavior is. And there's also a book, The Loss of Absence. There's many interesting thoughts about what's going on here. But he says we all as human beings have this kind of this empty hole in the pit of our stomachs where if you just sit down and you think and you're listening to your own thoughts, you pretty quickly you realize, hey, I'm alone. What is this world? What am I doing here? And I'm going to die. You know the feeling. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
CK's bit, yeah.
But it's true. We all have this feeling, and this, I think, historically, this has been filled up by religion, and people get, what am I doing here? You start to hyperventilate, and he has a great bit where he really, instead of grabbing for the phone, which is what I think he's correct in assuming, when people feel that alone moment, or just not boredom. If you have kids, have you ever heard your kids say, I'm bored? I used to say that all the time. I'm bored. There's nothing to do.
No, all kids say that constantly.
I think there's really. I don't think kids are bored anymore. There's always something for them to do on the iPad.
No, they still say it.
Okay, well, good.
Well, my kids don't have iPads.
Your kids are a little too old for what we're talking about here.
No, I'm talking about when they were kids. That's when they were saying. They don't say it now, although Jay does once in a while. But they don't say it now. But they used to say it all the time, just constantly. And they had all the computer gear that they ever wanted, if they wanted to just goof around on the machines.
So I think with the incessant grabbing for the phone, a lot of that is this fear of confronting our own humanity. It is the new religion in a way.